This is The Extra Point, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast, sponsored by your Phoenix Suns.
Did you watch the Daytona 500? In case you missed it, a crash at the end propelling William Byron to victory and scattering the rest of the field, including Brad Keselowski, who finished 31st. But you can bet he's going to fix whatever problems he had at Daytona. Headed into Atlanta in the Phoenix race later this spring in March, Keselowski is a perennial contender, a former series champ, a car owner, and our guest today on the Extra Point podcast.
How much sleep did you get last night?
Sleep. They still make that. I got 4 or 5 hours, but that's part of living the dream.
What was the process? What was the whole night like for you, being in the car and there at the end, kind of everybody's knocking on the door, and to kind of see, the wrecks and how it transpired and how you finished up?
Yeah, there's going to be wrecks when you go to these races, and you just hope you survive and you get a chance at the end. And wasn't meant to be for us, but we were in position, and I'm happy to have a team and a car to do just that. Happy with how I ran, the moves I made just didn't come together.
When it comes to just the note the season got off to, as far as just big picture, when it comes to NASCAR, how did you feel like NASCAR rolled out its 2024 season last night?
Yeah, certainly you hate the weather that delayed us from Sunday to Monday, but love the audience we got Monday night. Gosh, it's great to be in prime time on Monday, and heard from a lot of fans that watched, and really appreciate their engagement. It's a tough scenario for everybody, but I think it went out pretty well. And big race for us, obviously, the Daytona 500. A lot of action. Not the finish I would have wanted, but still a good run.
What'd you learn about yourself? What'd you learn about your car? What'd you learn about your team?
Oh, a lot, but that's the cycle. Is you build things, you work on things, you study, and then you go put it to practice and see what actually mattered and what doesn't. I continue to learn that our team is improving. We have what it takes to be a strong contender all year long. I'm really, really thrilled about that. It's really onward and upward from here. So, I feel good about the things that we're doing. I feel good about the things I'm doing. And I think the sport is coming to us.
We first had you here on Arizona's Family CBS 5. I was looking back in 2014 was the first conversation I had with you. I've had a couple in pit row over the years here in Phoenix, and it's been fun to see your career go from the young gun and bad Brad to now the owner. So how has your approach to day-to-day life changed over the past 10 years? And what would you say is a work day? How's a work day changed for you?
Yeah, just more accountability when you're the owner, right? Self-accountability, which isn't a bad thing, because there's some autonomy that comes with that that I certainly enjoy. But the workload is significantly higher, but I enjoy it. I feel like I went from eating at the restaurant to making the food and eating, and the food always tastes a little better when you made it. There's some pride that comes from that.
Well, very well put. Hey, so our producer, Matt Hippie, we've been trying to get him on a NASCAR pit crew for a while. He loves it. He's got every second of the race on, and he's here as well and would like to ask some questions. I think in his next life, he's going to come back as a crew chief.
What do you got, Matt?
If only. So, as I was watching that race last night, probably 11 laps to go, one of our directors was sitting next to me watching it too, and I was like, I can feel this crash coming. You can tell. Is that something you can feel in the car as a driver
absolutely.
yourself, the way it's going?
Yeah, absolutely. You just hope you can survive it, and there's nothing you can do other than just push forward and try to be in front of it.
So other than the other cars around you, other than the way other people are driving, is there anything you feel inside the car as far as the way the draft changes, the way things are going, that something might slip up, something might be about to happen like that?
Yeah, you just feel the pushers keep getting harder and harder and harder, and until a threshold is going to be reached.
So on Sunday, I had a chance to talk to McDowell, and I asked him about, third year in this next gen car. How has it changed at these drafting tracks? And he said it changed quite a bit. And one of the things they did was studying people, and found a few who figured it out right away. the two that he specifically named were you and Busher. What did you guys find right away with this next gen car as far as drafting goes, and how has it changed for you now that you've run 3 Daytona 500s and all those others in between?
Yeah, it's there's similarities and differences. Every year the cars change just a little bit. 3 years ago we went to the next gen car, and it was more of a seismic change, but not dramatic in the sense of the whole racing change. My teammate Chris Buescher has a good feel for the cars, good understanding of what it takes, and I just clicked with what we were looking for, and that was certainly something that we're proud of and we want to take advantage of.
Do you prefer like a drafting track more like it was last night, whereas fewer cautions, the field gets more spread out, it becomes more of a strategy fuel race versus the pack racing?
I can go either way. I just like any race we're running up front. So, how we get there doesn't really matter to me.
If you got any spots on the crew, I mean, we need him. We love him here doing the TV show here in the podcast. But if you got any spots, someone to make a spot start, match your guy. I was curious about the ownership when it comes to, there's a wreck on the track. I mean, how does that change when you're an owner as opposed to a driver? It's got to be like, man, this is going to cost me some money, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Yep. You live the highs and lows, the wins, you make more money, and the wrecks, you lose more money. So, you try to ride through the ebbs and flows.
How much has the workload increased when it comes to the owner?
Oh yeah, significantly more workload to be the owner of the team. Whether it's partners, employees, new processes, resources, there's always something to be worked on. Of course, all the non-fun stuff like budget meetings and marketing meetings. But like I said, you feel more involved. I feel like I'm sifting the flour, right? But that's okay. The food tastes pretty good.
Is Jack Roush still hanging around there? Do you still see him at the shop day to day, or does he just pop in here and there?
He pops in here and there. He'll be in our facility, once a month or so, and obviously deep roots in the team.
How does that at all improve your driving? Is there any way that being able to get in the car is a little bit of a refuge at all away from budget meetings?
Well, it is nice to get in the car and remember why we do this in the first place. It's a good reminder.
When it comes to the schedule here, so Phoenix will be here before you know it. What is the strategy leading up to Phoenix here in the spring? Where would you like to be here as y'all roll in here next month?
Oh, Phoenix is definitely not a drafting track. You want to get in the lead, control the race from start to finish, and never look back. I think that's the preferred positioning for us.
And when it comes to your time here in Phoenix, what has kind of been your crowning achievement, your favorite memory out here, and what I guess how do you prepare for it? You said it's not the drafting track, but how do you prepare for it coming up here?
Yeah, I think preparing for Phoenix, kind of this mix of a short track, intermediate track. We did have a test session there with my teammate Chris Buescher, so you focus a lot on the driving styles to get around it and the setup it takes to be good on both ends. The two ends of the track are completely different from each other, and so your driving style has to alternate. And the setup challenge for getting the car just right is pretty difficult for the team. So kind of working through what those compromises are and how to get through that is a big challenge in the race prep.
Is it?
Good.
Sorry, Mark. So when you're coming here, third, fourth week of the season, does it feel more important than a normal early race?
Yeah,
it does. Yep. Knowing the championships here.
Yeah, it's like, it always feels like a preview when we go to Phoenix. Like this is a preview for when we come back and the end of the year, and we better make sure we got all of our pieces right.
When it comes to just you've been doing this now for a while. So how do you keep the energy level up?
We got to find your sense of purpose. Understand your why. Why do you do this? And kind of live that, embody that, and remember that every step of the way. And sometimes that changes. I've got great purpose right now. I really want to win races and prove myself to this opportunity and kind of fulfill that potential. I've got 2 young daughters, and I really want them to see me in victory lane. That would mean a lot to me, and that's a big sense of purpose that I think drives motivation.
So have they never seen you in victory lane?
They have, but they're pretty young, so they don't have it as what I would call core memory. And my oldest is just getting to the spot now where, if I won with her, I know it'd be a core memory, and I really want that for her.
And for you, I mean, there was a lot of time in victory lane in the early going, and here, especially last year, you were always in the mix, but getting there has looked a little elusive. Does that make you appreciate some of the championships and the times you got there before?
Yes and no. I mean, I appreciated them before, and I appreciate them today. But also know that, a large part of this sport still relies on just all the pieces coming together at the right time.
Very cool. Well, we are very grateful for your time. Matt, you got anything else?
No. Good luck this weekend at Atlanta. Well, you know what? So it did make me think the way Atlanta's changed. Most of my time watching the sport, it was always, you have the Daytona 500, but then the season really starts at Rockingham or Fontana or Atlanta before these changes. Especially as an owner, what is it like starting the season off now with 2 drafting tracks before you get to more of the 1.5-mile short track style racing?
There's part of me that likes it, and part of me that dislikes it. I like the continuity, in the sense of, hey, similar to what we just raced at Daytona. And then there's another part of me that's like, I want to go to a more normal track. So there's, probably a balanced appreciation and respect and kind of dread.
I can imagine.
I can't imagine the dread. That's why we stay in here in the very insulated studio and just talk sports all day. So
it's very nice in there. Very nice in there.
Well, how about at some point you pop in here, drive the old car over here, and join us for a live conversation next time you get in victory lane, and hopefully that's here.
You never know. You never know. Hopefully very soon.
All right. Well, we look forward to that. Always appreciate your perspective. Always enjoy when you win. And here's to seeing Bad Brad back in victory lane very soon.